Welcome to all. In this video, we will see about marker assisted selection and its application in crop improvement. Marker assisted selection is a DNA molecular based selection of individuals which are carrying desirable genes of interest or alleles of interest. For example, the genotypes carrying salt tolerant genes or loci in a chromosome is our desire of interest we have to incorporate. The loci is plural term and locus is the singular term for the loci. The locus refers a fixed position in a chromosome where a particular gene or genetic marker is located. For example, the Tiller associated LTU loci is located in chromosome 8 near the centromere region. The DNA markers that are tightly linked to a target loci as a substitute or assist the phenotypic screening. The marker assisted selection helps to overcome the difficulties faced by breeders in traditional breeding. In general, breeding for specific traits in plants is expensive and time consuming, labor intensive. The progeny often need to reach maturity before the determination of the success of the cross can be made. The greater the complexity of the trait, the more time and effort needed to achieve the desirable trait. The goal of the marker assisted selection is to reduce the time needed to determine if the progeny carries the trait. The next goal is to reduce the cost associated with screening for trait in conventional breeding. If we can detect the distinguished trait at DNA level by genotyping, we can identify the positive selection much earlier than conventional method. For example, in conventional breeding program, we have to cross two parents. One is the recipient parent, generally female parent is recipient carrying high yielding quality, and we cross with a male parent that is a donor parent carrying a single desirable trait. For example, tolerance to salinity or diseases like bacterial blight resistance or phosphorus deficiency recovery genes. So our aim is we have to select or transfer only that specific gene from the donor to our high yielding variety. From F1 hybridization, then go to F2. In F2, they get large number of segregant populations. For all the populations, they have to grow in the field or inside the lab. They grow either hydroponics or any other in vitro culture method, and they have to screen each population visually. It will be tedious. It will take lot of manpower, work power, time and skilled labors. Whereas if we choose marker assisted selection, if we know specific loci associated with a specific trait. For example, the donor parent carrying this loci is associated with resistant allele, means we have to cross make the F1 and go for F2. In F2, just we collect leaf sample and perform marker analysis with DNA sample, and we identify the genotypes which are carrying only single resistant allele with it. So here, out of so many number of F2 populations, we can easily eliminate several of them and pick up only handful numbers like here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. Only 9 populations are selected out of 50 or 100 populations. Likewise, we can significantly decrease or eliminate unwanted populations, and we progress the populations which are carrying desirable trait. When we cross, for example, high yielding susceptible variety with resistant carrying the desirable alleles, in F2 we select the genotypes which are carrying the resistant portion of the loci in it. Then we have to go for next generation. So in this case, nearly we select only 25% of population from the F2 and remaining 75% we can easily eliminate it. So in such way, it significantly decreased both cost as well as technical demand required to inspect the populations one by one in next generation. Now we will compare the traditional pedigree method and marker assisted selection using markers. So in pedigree method, we make F1s and we get lot of F2, and all the F2 populations we will screen and we eliminate them during F3 population and select some of them during F4 populations. So number of populations we have to examine in F2, F3, F4 is much higher. Whereas if we use marker as a helping tool, we can pick only less than 3 or 4 populations in F3. Similarly, population size is decreased compared to conventional pedigree method. So finally, we will get very good quality lines, and when the populations reach F6 or F7, isogenic population lines carrying our allele of interest. So in this way, it simplifies the breeder's work and they have to concentrate more on obtaining improved superior phenotype carrying the genotype of interest. So the benefit is it can be efficiently scaled down to focus fewer lines than dealing with large number of populations in the conventional pedigree methods. Now we will see the advantages of marker assisted selection. So marker assisted selection or MAS is a simpler method compared to conventional phenotypic screening. Especially certain traits are very laborious and tedious for screening. In such cases, markers helps to screen much easier way, and it saves a lot of time and resources, and we can select the genotypes at seedling stage itself. Once the sufficient number of leaves are produced, we collect bottom 1 or 2 leaves, extract DNA and we will perform the marker analysis, identify our desirable population, and it is more increased reliability. So if we assume that there is no environmental influence and only we look for genetic trait perfectly linked with specific trait of interest, in such cases markers helps to identify the desirable populations. So the marker helps when gene of interest is difficult to select. For example, the recessive genes and multiple genes for disease resistance and quantitative trait. Under such cases, we depend on the markers, identify the loci that carries a group of genes that are associated with specific trait, and we will easily select them. And similarly, when there is large genotype and environment interaction, the markers will help to select loci containing group of genes rather than depend on a individual gene or say 2 or 3 genes. So now we will see some benefits of the marker assisted selection. The MAS is more accurate and efficient selection method since it works based on genotypes, and this may leads to accelerated varietal development in a way of shorten the time as well as breeding cycle, and it can be a way to efficient use of resources, especially in field trials. So now we will briefly see the overview of marker genotyping protocol. So we have to collect the samples from leaf and extract DNA, perform the PCR with markers and resolve in a gel, and visualize the bands of the specific markers. We can use SSR, RAP, AFLP, SCAR or SNP markers for the analysis. So the best marker is a DNA useful for the phenotype. For example, if the marker is perfectly matched with the gene, it is a best marker. Now we will see about developing a marker. So if we know the specific gene responsible for a specific trait, then it simplifies our work. Just we concentrate on that region and we will transfer, and also we can develop certain mutant populations and screen phenotypes carrying mutation in that specific region, and we develop a specific primers and focusing that specific region will distinguish the two forms of the allelic variations. If we don't know the gene, means don't know anything about genetic background, we have to screen with contrast population. For example, we select two parents which are genetically divergent. For example, if we select salt tolerance, means we select one population as a salt sensitive, another one is highly tolerant, that we will get large segregant populations with great variations. And we will also use here isogenic lines. These lines are almost homozygous additions as they are referred at only one genetic location. And RILs are recombinant inbred lines. So if we get our F1 and continuously backcross with one of the parent, BC456, we will get the recombinant inbred lines. So these kind of populations will help us to identify specific genetic background plant with our specific loci of interest, and we will identify the region is carrying specific trait. In that region we choose the marker and go for marker assisted selection. So here we need to blend genetic difference between the individual rather than the trait of interest, and we have to cross and collect the progeny and go for selfing or polycrossing. And selfing means from F2 we will go for selfing, and each generation we select 5 to 10 individuals for showing each traits, and we have to advance for next generation. Generally, instead of using a single marker associated with our trait of interest, we have to choose two markers related to the trait of interest, and in best way that is flanking both sides of the trait of interest. So in general, ideally the marker should be less than 5 centimorgan genetic distance between the gene or the QTL of interest. So centimorgan is the unit of genetic linkage region. So based on the linkage and recombination frequency, the centimorgan is calculated. So if the marker, only one marker is linked with a QTL, 5 centimorgan means the probability of the selection will be 95% accurate. Whereas at the same time, if we have two markers, one marker is linked with 5 centimorgan in one side, another marker B is linked with 5 centimorgan in another side, the probability of reliability of the marker will be 99.5% accurate. PCR based DNA markers are more preferable than hybridization markers because of robustness and simplicity. And this marker assisted selection also helpful in breeding schemes such as marker assisted backcrossing or pyramiding genes of interest. That means single population carrying multiple genes of favorable traits, such as we can accumulate salt tolerant gene, high yielding gene, early maturing genes, and flooding tolerant genes. So all the 4 genes we accumulate in a single population, that means it is called gene pyramiding. It can help us for early generation selection of genotypes carrying desirable trait of interest. In some cases we will use combined approaches, especially we go for early generation selection followed by gene pyramiding. And now we will see about marker assisted backcrossing. The marker assisted backcrossing have several advantages over the conventional backcrossing. It is an effective selection method of target loci, and it can minimize the linkage drag, and it helps us accelerate recovery of the recurrent parents. So for here we have to know about two terms. One is called foreground selection, other one is called background selection. The term foreground selection means our single desirable trait of interest present in a donor parent. Generally donor parent is an undesirable parent, but it carry only one trait of interest. For example, the land races are very poor yielders, but they have single locus or loci for drought tolerant or salinity tolerant. That region is present. We have to select the population transferring that specific region to our female parent of interest is called foreground selection. Whereas in the case of background selection, we have to confirm the genetic backup of our recipient parent. We have to maintain everything is uniform except the specific region where the donor parent transfer the specific single trait of interest. For example, drought tolerant present here, only this locus or loci is transferred to recipient parent, while the recipient parent maintaining its own genetic backup for its natural behavior such as yield and other potentials preferences. This method is called background selection. And gene pyramiding. So the combining multiple disease resistant genes or multiple biotic or abiotic resistant genes in a single genotype is called gene pyramiding. Pyramiding is extremely difficult to achieve using conventional methods. Whereas marker assisted selection method, it is much easier, it saves a lot of time. And it is important to develop durable disease resistance against different plant races. The process of combining several genes from multiple parents is displayed in this picture. For example, we have one genotype that carry a gene A for specific trait of interest, another genotype have gene B for another trait of interest. For example, gene A may be salt tolerant, gene B may be drought tolerance. And we get F1 population that carry the locus for both gene A and gene B. So it will be both salt and drought tolerance. Then we go for selfing to F2 populations and go marker restricted selection. After several generations, we will get near isogenic line or recombinant inbred lines that are carrying the two genes or loci of interest in a single population. So for example, this is the population carrying both capital A and capital B. It's our specific trait of interest. Likewise, using the marker, we can accumulate for desirable genes of interest in a single populations. And another one is early generation marker restricted selection. So we have to conduct marker restricted selection in the F2, F3 population itself. The plants with desirable non-QTL genes or QTLs selected at the F2, F3 population itself, and the plants with undesirable gene combinations can be eliminated in the early generation itself. So this is advantage for later stages of breeding program because the breeders can focus a fewer lines. In addition, some cases a combination of phenotypic screening and marker restricted selection may be useful. For example, to maximize genetic gain, and some QTLs have been unidentified from the QTL mapping can be identified by both phenotypic screening and marker restricted selection. And the level of recombination between marker and QTL is not 100% accurate. We have to go both methods. And to reduce population size for traits where marker genotyping is cheaper, easier than the phenotypic screening. In marker directed phenotyping or random selection method, we follow both phenotypic screening as well as marker screening. This is practiced when marker is not 100% representative for the specific phenotype of interest. So we cross parent 1 and donor and we will get the F1. Again we have to back cross the F1 with the recipient parent and we will get C1 F1. We have to progress C1 F2 after screening with specific markers of interest. So here we also perform phenotypic selection. So we have to double confirm and advance to next generation. Thank you.